Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar. My name is Pete Stolzers. I'm the founder of One Option. For recording purposes, I'd like to state that it is Wednesday evening, November 19th. The purpose of this webinar is to showcase my platform and most importantly, to show you my automated trading system. It generates buy and sell signals on everything from indices to ETFs to stocks. It's got a phenomenal track record. So what we're going to be doing is looking at trade signals for different stocks. We'll take a look at some of the different symbol groups that I've put together to see how the performance has been. And then I'm going to take some symbol requests from you so that we can look at your stocks. We'll see how the system has performed for those stocks. And we'll also see if it's on a current buy or sell signal. Before I get started, I always like to give a quick market recap. Everything follows the market. 75% of all stocks follow the market. So that's where I start my analysis every day. This is a chart of the SPY, and you can see how we're currently on a buy signal. Very nice buy signal here. The market is breaking through horizontal resistance right here. And as soon as it did, we knew that it was going to continue to grind higher. The macro backdrop is very bullish. Gosh, I could go through about 10 different factors, but corporate profits have been excellent, the best in 4 years. The Fed continues to print money. They're relatively accommodative, probably won't raise rates until May. We've got the ECB and the Bank of Japan and the People's Bank of China. They're all easing. Ebola fears are waning. We have corporations buying stock back at a record pace. We have seasonal strength. So lots of reasons to be long. In fact, this big V bottom that we had here, anybody that wanted to get long really didn't have much of an opportunity, and asset managers had to scramble to get in if they were going to try and catch a year-end rally. And right now, I feel that those who are under allocated are keeping a bid under this market right here, and we will inch higher. So I don't see any headwinds here. What you'll notice is that the volume has continued to deteriorate, and Thanksgiving strips out about 3 trading days next week. So you're going to continue to see the volume drop. And that's good for bulls because even a small bid in this market can push it higher and higher. Yes, things tend to get a little bit fluffy. They can get a little choppy as well, but nobody's going to stand in front of this freight train. They're not going to go out here shorting this thing in any size because they know that all it would take is one little news event to get another 20, 30 point rally in the S&Ps. Tomorrow morning we have flash PMIs coming in. I believe that strength in the United States and China is going to overshadow weakness in Europe. Germany has stabilized. It's the cornerstone. So I think the overall reaction to the flash PMIs is going to be pretty good. Any dip that we would see right now is going to be shallow and brief. So in my market comments, which platform users, make sure to click on Market View. You can come in and read my market strategy each day before the open and my one-day forecast. My 1 week forecast I publish on Mondays, and you can get a read on what I think the market's going to be doing, how I'm positioning myself, and what I see happening over the course of the next couple of days. This will keep you on the right side of the market. So for any of you who are subscribed to a system, but you don't have the platform, please consider spending the extra $60 a quarter. It's really worth it. And there's so many tools in here, plus the trades are much easier to view as well. So I see the market continuing to grind higher, and Thanksgiving holiday is going to be very quiet. So expect to see it grind upward. Black Friday should be pretty decent. Retailers have been reporting dismal top line growth, but lower oil prices are putting a bid under the retail sector And retail sales came out last week. They were up 0.3%, which is better than expected. So I think there's going to be some optimism in the retail sector. And we've seen the retail stocks rally after the earnings announcement, even in some cases when they've lowered guidance. So a lot of momentum in that sector right now. So I see this market continuing to push higher. What I'm looking for is stocks that have been consolidating near a horizontal resistance level and then boom, are poking through. So that's exactly what we're going to be taking a look at right now. We're going to get right to it. And I am currently connected to Interactive Brokers, and so I'm using a real-time version of the platform. This is after hours, so this is also a great time to use the end of day version. I'm going to click on scanner, and then we're going to take a look at some of the generic scans first. These mover scans are available to everyone. So if you have the platform, you'll have these. Again, in the end of day version, you won't see the prices update, but the searches will be real time. So let's just go through and take a look. And what I've done is I've combined the power of my searches with the trading system to make this very, very easy. And we'll take a look at, we'll just take a look at gainers. And we'll go down the list and see if anything strikes a chord. This is exactly the pattern I'm looking for, just right out of the gate. Look at this beautiful uptrend, consolidation around horizontal resistance, buy signal, breakout. Day traders, that's it. You had to come in and look at 1 second, you get your first trade right there. We're just going to keep going through and looking. Dish, very nice. Nice trend, breakout. You can see we got on that early. I'm looking for, and I'll make a point, I'm not as crazy about signals that came out down here. I like them when they're down here. And I would like it right here on this initial breakout. But if I didn't get in here, I'm getting a little tenuous about it here. But obviously would have been a great entry point today. Stock really ran. Target had been coming up right here. That was a really nice entry point. It's kind of run away from us now. It went up on earnings. There's your horizontal resistance level right there, and you actually poke through that level. So we're above it, but we're consolidating in here, and then boop, bingo, right here. That is where you want to be in. And then there it goes. Big news today. Believe they're looking to take the company private. Here's another one, TMO. Come in, nice rally, horizontal resistance right in here. Stock starts moving through it. These are great day trades. For anybody who's day trading, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. And I've done a number of videos for my 3,000 symbol subscribers, and it takes me about 2 minutes to find a trade that I could be all over. And believe me, I have been. This is nice, great breakout. Tried to run higher, but wasn't able to extend that rally. This is one that you would want to watch the next day to see if it can get some kind of momentum going. If it can, then you want to be in. Otherwise, it could come back and test that 73.29 level. Too choppy, no interest. Ah, yes. Great breakout right there. Runs up, consolidates, recent buy signal. That's where you want to be in. Really nice trade right in there. So let's take a look at some others. Let's go with maybe a gap up. Actually, 5-day high, see what we've got here. Now I'm going to, because we've already taken a look at a bunch of trades, now I'm just going to scan down and see if I recognize any symbols, because I want something with good option liquidity, which incidentally, this middle gauge is a gauge of option liquidity. It's a proprietary tool that I've developed. Mohawk doesn't have great liquidity, but it does have a nice pattern. There's that breakout I'm looking for. If you're flipping through these charts, Ralph Lauren, better option liquidity. Not great, but once you start getting close to zero, it's not bad. Anything in the green is good. Anything up above 4 or 5 is fantastic. So that is awesome. As soon as you start to see this, and you're going to see this coming up on a lot of the different searches that I have, like this 5-day high. You don't even have to have my proprietary searches, which are the reversals and the continuation trades in here. You could have picked this up just on a 5-day high because that stock was making a 5-day high. Boom, right there. Draw your little crossbar and away you go. So let me take a look here. Now I'm going to start trying to find trades that I'm going to highlight for tonight because I want you to walk away with 4 or 5 really good trades. And this is nice. It's, yeah, $3 run today. Gosh, if it hadn't run so much, I would have said, yeah, that's one of them. Now we're coming up on one that I traded today and yesterday, Garmin. Saw the buy signal yesterday on Garmin, had the horizontal breakout here. I didn't go big on it. I bought 5 contracts yesterday. I bought 5 contracts this morning. The stock was up when the market was down. When I turned around, I went, oh my God, this thing's running. This is a beautiful trade. So if I can get another buck 50 out of that stock, I'm probably out of that trade because I've already done very well on it. So I can't recommend Garmin to you. It's kind of a little bit too far out of the gate right now. Deck, not bad right in here. Still trying to find something like that. FLT, not very good option liquidity, but if I saw something like this, I would want to make note right around this 151 level. If it gets up above that, I'm certainly interested in it. And oftentimes what I'll do is I'll just throw a marker out there and I'll put an order contingent on the stock above 151, buy 100 shares. And then all of a sudden I'll get a phantom fill from somewhere and it'll say, hey, you just got filled on this trade. And I'll go, well, what the heck is that? Oh yeah, now I remember. Ooh, looks good. Once you have a position, it's real easy to monitor that position. It's kind of like Garmin today. I had a 5 lot out there. I saw it moving higher in a down market and I went, okay, I think we got a good trade here. Let's add to it. So don't be afraid to have lots of little trades out there. They'll keep you aware of what's going on. Okay, I don't see anything else too interesting in here. I'm going to just come down and Walmart, gorgeous entry there. Unfortunately, we stopped out because the stock was pulling back or we'd have caught that gap right there. And then now we're off to the races. Incidentally, one thing you should keep an eye on, this system's phenomenal. I mean, it's you don't have to take my word for it. We're going to look at a bunch of stocks tonight. One thing you might want to keep an eye on is here's the percentage gain that the system has had. Here's what buy and hold has had over the last 16 months. You're going to see that almost in every case, we're outpacing a buy and hold strategy. And that's at a time when the market's been up about 20% on the S&P. Folks, you don't get many years like that. You get maybe one every 10 years will be like the one we've just had. And my toughest comparison to buy and hold is going to be in exactly that kind of market. And the reason that it's the toughest comp is because buy and hold's a fantastic strategy in that environment. When the market's going straight up, what else would you want to do? Well, you'll notice we do get short along the way. Okay, and we do catch some of the moves, but we also get caught on some of the moves because the system is agnostic. It's just as happy going short as it is going long. When this market rolls over, and it will someday, or even if we get into a normal market where we have, say, 5% gains throughout the course of the year, we have some nice moves higher, we have some normal corrections, this system's going to trounce buy and hold. Let alone if we ever get into a bear market. I oftentimes have people ask me, Pete, what should I do if we go into a bear market? I'm not sure what I should do with my money. Should I go into cash? No, you shouldn't go into cash. Cash is a losing proposition. You're not even going to keep up with the pace of inflation. In fact, bonds, I would not be buying bonds here when interest rates are at a historic low. You're not going to keep up with inflation there either. And from my perspective, they can't go much lower. And when interest rates start to move higher, you're going to lose a lot of money being in bonds. Well, gee, should I be in gold? Gold is good. Gold is safe. No, you shouldn't be in gold. Gold's an asset. Gold goes down when every other asset goes down. If you look at just go back and look at 2008 and 2009. Take a look at what gold did. It went down in value. I don't want to lose money. I want to make money. You need to be short. And for those of you who have never tried shorting a stock, let me tell you, this is the time to start trying it out. And you don't have to go gonzo with it. Do 100 shares. Get used to the idea. Because there's going to be a time when everybody else is wringing their hands because the market's going down, and you're going to be ringing the register. And you're going to really like the feeling that you get when the market's going down and you're making money and you're not worried about what's the market going to do today, what's the market going to do tomorrow. So please, if you have one takeaway from tonight's webinar, whether you use my system or not, learn how to short stocks and get comfortable with the idea of shorting stocks. That way, you're always in the market. You're not in cash, you're not in bonds, you're not long, you're in the market all the time. You're long and short. And in fact, if you have a group of stocks that you use for the system, you'll see tonight, I've got symbol groups. We're long maybe 3 or 4 stocks, and we might be short 1 or 2 stocks. Well, that's nice because you've got a hedged position. Your market risk is reduced because you do have some short exposure and some long exposure. What's really cool is when the ones that you're long march higher and the ones that you're short move lower. You win both ways, and you've got less market risk. So let's keep looking. Walmart ran away from us. Okay, first trade of the night. Boeing. Love it. Loved it right here even more, but we're not too far out of the gate here. So we've got a really nice breakout through horizontal resistance at that 129.23 level. Okay, let's go to the top of that bar here and let's call it 130 so we can tighten up our stop. So we get into this position, our exit point is 130. And that's why these trades are so easy to put on because you know exactly where you're getting out. Okay, so stock continues to grind and march higher. Beautiful. Our stop is at 130. We're in, we're out. Stock pulls back, waffles around, and then starts to grind higher again. We're back in it. Okay, we'll zoom out real quick. You can see there's actually a double bottom that's formed right in there. Really nice breakout through horizontal resistance right in here. Okay. Plus, we know the system's done well on this stock, up 35% versus 0 for buy and hold. Very nice. Okay, there's your first trade. I like Boeing. I'm going to keep taking a look here. I'm just looking for liquid symbols, stocks that I know have good option liquidity. This is too far. We've run a little bit too far. We need to see a march, and a little consolidation before we run higher. So we've kind of missed this one. Yeah, back here, beautiful, awesome. Yeah, the system's done great with that. Mosaic Fertilizer Company. Too late on that one. Coca-Cola, interesting, tends not to make big moves like this. So kind of in no man's land here too. Big sell-off, gap, running higher. Not crazy, a little bit too unpredictable. When it's in this kind of mode, I'm fine with it. And back in here, I'm fine with it. When it starts making these big moves, I'm a little bit leery of these stocks. So Let's go into some of my proprietary searches. This does require a scanner subscription, but I'm going to go into my reversals. So most of these stocks will have pulled back, formed a base, and now they're starting to reverse that pullback. Great example. Pulls back, we're through horizontal resistance, recent buy signal. Hello. That's nice. Not good option liquidity. In fact, I don't think we're going to have good option liquidity on many of these, so we're just going to keep going through. Toyota, we will find some, not to worry. Now we'll take a look at these. Okay, this is nice here. FLT does not have good option liquidity, but this is nice. Came up, it broke through that horizontal resistance level. It's consolidating, and now we're getting the move higher. We'd like to see it above that 151 level, and if you get that, it's a great play. If you're a stock trader, who cares if the options are liquid? Be a great play, and you'll see a lot of situations where you get some nice. This is cool. Inverted head and shoulders breaking out here. Earnings announcement. That's what the A means. Got a recent buy here. CPA. All right, I'm not seeing anything much, so we're going to go into continuations. These trades here are very different in character because these stocks have a full head of steam and a continuation trade. So a reversal is where the stock pulls back and then you get a reversal off of that low, and we're looking to catch that reversal, okay? A continuation would be more like a 45-degree angle that goes from the lower left to the upper right. Boom, 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 just continues to march higher. We're looking for a stock like that to consolidate and then be breaking out. So this is really where I would want to be focusing my attention anyway. And this would be a good example if it hadn't run away. But yeah, you've got generally positive trend here, and there's your horizontal breakout, and then you're in on that. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking for. Like that. We already looked at Jack. I like Jack. You can put Jack down, but Jack doesn't have, it's got okay option liquidity, I guess. Whirlpool we looked at. I like this. I mean, this is just a nice breakout. Look at that entry signal right there. Stock was doing not a whole lot of anything. We're in here at 135 and the stock's up $7 in 2 days. Boy, if you could catch a little bit of that or right in here on a day trade when you're going through these searches, because you would have picked that up. That definitely would have been coming up on the search even early in the day. You already had your buy signal. Oh yeah. I get pretty excited about this stuff, especially when I find it during the trading day and I see it unfolding and I go, yeah, right there. If you have the platform and you do have time during the day to trade and you don't have an Interactive Brokers account, I encourage you to get one. Their commissions are dirt cheap. For less than a penny, you can be in the position and out of the position. So their commissions are less than a penny per share. And you can get in on a move like this and buy 1,000 shares. You're making $400, $500, $600 in a fairly short amount of time. Mohawk, I like this move. I mean, I got to put this on my list. It's a gorgeous little breakout here. So doesn't have great option liquidity. RL we've looked at. Garmin we've looked at. Alta, I don't believe has very good option liquidity. So I'm not going to put that one on the list because I don't mind this breakout. I like the fact that it's marching higher. I like this horizontal breakout right here as well. So I like everything about it. I just don't think that the option liquidity is going to be there. So that's one that I would consider. Yeah, two, not horrible. Actually, let's go in and we'll take a look at the option pricing here. I'm going to go into the Decembers. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. The web software and the webinar software and the recording software tend to take a toll. So, well, unfortunately, it's not coming up. So we're going to just keep taking a look. I'm going to take a look and see if I can find anything. Costco, a little bit too high. VMC, that's another one of those beautiful trades right in here. If you could catch it right here when the signal comes out and it's breaking out, not bad liquidity either, but a little bit too far gone right now. All right, let's see. Keep going here and find something else. I want to find a couple of good ones. We have a couple on the board, and we might have to go to some of my other lists to find one. We've got the usual suspects here that we've already looked at. Not seeing anything new there. And not seeing anything too new here. TSCO, that's been actually a very nice stock. BBY, Best Buy, going into year end. Not getting a lot of push up in here, but I do like the breakout. Okay, we had a buy signal in here and not a lot of follow through. So if this stock can get up and stay up through this resistance level at say 35.60, it might be worth a shot. Starting to see some nice volume in it. So that's one to kind of keep an eye on. A little bit choppy and not a lot of momentum. It's up and down and waffling around. So I'm not crazy about it. I like to see really nice, tight pushes higher. I'll try and point some of those out to you. There we go. Here's another one with good option liquidity. Ding, ding, ding. Get your pencil ready. It's just starting. And JetBlue, you can even buy the stock on this. I mean, it's a $12, $13 stock. So you got a beautiful breakout here. And the stock is starting to make a new relative high. So JetBlue is one that you want to trade. And it's making a new high for the year. Allstate, very nice. This is a grinder. Just keeps grinding higher. Doesn't tend to make big moves. And you need to get this back in here. If you got that, you're in great shape. Even after earnings, you had a really nice move in there. So let's take a look. I was going to take a look at some of my systems, but what the heck? I don't want you to think that this platform just picks bullish trades. It loves to short stocks. Now, let me temper this. I feel the market's going higher. So I like to usually add a short or two to my portfolio, but I'm weighted on the long side. I got to be very honest with you. I think this market's going to continue to grind higher. And so you can have a short or two in there just to give yourself some overnight hedge to your positions. But wait till you see some of these shorts. I haven't looked at them, but I know. Okay, there's a short. Horizontal breakdown. Oh yeah, loving that all day long. Yelp. See ya. Short right there. System's done great on it, up 65% versus 30% for buy and hold. There's our horizontal breakdown, folks. So if you're looking for a short, letter X, US Steel. I like it. I like that Yelp short too. That's nice. Good breakdown. That's coming up on that horizontal breakdown right there. I'm liking that. No option liquidity. Rio, okay liquidity. Yeah, hello. TS, horrible option liquidity. If you can short the stock, right there, beautiful. This is actually an interesting one here. I know this company. They make pipe for the oil industry, and I'm sure that the Keystone Pipeline getting voted down probably didn't help them. Plus, lower energy prices are probably weighing on pipe demand for some of the different shale fields. So that's kind of a neat one. There you go. Breakdown there. Unfortunately, not great option liquidity. Rig, nice breakdown there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Cirrus. Look at this, folks. I wish I had more money. I mean, I could trade. This takes maybe 5 minutes a day. I mean, you just go through. You can even speed things up if you want. There's a little play button here, and it just flip through all these charts. It takes probably, spends about 20 seconds on each. But there you go, Cirrus. Love that short right there. Horizontal breakdown on a sell signal, drifting lower. So let's take a look at what the systems have done. The systems are just symbol groups. That's all they are. So for anybody that has 3,000 symbols, they can come in to the systems right here, and they can create their own list. And so you click the create button, you name this, and then you go in and you say, well, here are the stocks that I like to follow, and you put them in there. Now, let me mention one other thing. Everybody has always been so groomed to look for stocks that have strong fundamentals, good technicals, and that's really where all the focus is placed. Well, for anybody that's on the 3,000 symbol subscription, I'm going to encourage you to think completely differently when you look at a stock or a chart. I want you to think orderly patterns like this, okay? And I want you to think volatility. That's all you care about. You don't care about the fact that the company is a fantastic company and has a bright future and makes a great product. All you care about is having stocks that have a nice trading rhythm to it and that perform well with the system. So let me I'll pick on DDD because I know that's had just a really nice rhythm to it. We're going to zoom out. So something up and down and, just nice wavy patterns where you've got great opportunities to get long and short. The reason that you want to have these stocks in your little create watch list is because they're going to be long, they're going to be short, and so you're going to have continually a basket of long and short stocks that make really nice sustained directional moves. And when you get them in these lists, I'm going to have it so that you can automate your own personal lists as well. Then all of a sudden, you're just starting to trade in and out of these volatile stocks, getting long and getting short continuously. And you don't even care what the overall market does because these stocks, for the most part, they've got a mind of their own. First Solar might be another good one to look at. Nice short in there, rolling up, rolling down. Netflix has been a personal favorite of mine. We catch a 50-point rally here. We catch a 40-point sell-off there. We catch a 20-point rally in here. Now, I didn't see the news on Netflix today, but man, it got walloped. It dropped quite a bit today. So, little position management on a profit like that would go a long way here. Breaks down through that horizontal support level. If you've got this position on, the system's still long, get the heck out. Take your profits. Okay? This is not gonna show up as a fantastic trade in my track record, but I know you would have made money on it, and you're gonna see tons of other examples like this too, where we're vastly outperforming buy and hold. you're going to vastly outperform our track record just with a little position management. The beauty of the system is really in the entry points. So anyway, you can create your own lists. You can see which stocks have entered longs, which ones have entered shorts. You've got the top 50. So these are stocks that have performed extremely well on the system. And the gold background tells you which are new entries today. And the blue background at the bottom tells you which stocks we've gotten out of today. So you can see we've exited a lot of long positions and gotten a lot of short positions. You can also bring up the Dow. Same deal here. Exit, entries. And you'll see there are a few short positions. I did a calculation. The Dow stocks are not my best stocks for the system. Why? Because they flutter around and they don't go anywhere. So it's just this chippy choppy little price movement, none of the nice little volatile dips that we had been talking about a few minutes ago. But if you had simply traded all the Dow stocks based on the signals, you would have outperformed buy and hold by about 13, 14% last year. And that's with the Dow being up probably about, I think the Dow was probably up about 15%. So substantial outperformance. And I always get people asking me about slippage. The slippage is negligible these days. If you're in and out of the position for a penny, I mean, you can even look at my P&Ls when you go through and, okay, so you made $169 in the last year and you did 29 trades. Well, you can take 29 cents off of that P&L because that's all your commissions would have cost you. So slippage is negligible. You can also go in and look at all the S&P stocks, and I have them broken down into 10 different categories so that there's 50 symbols in each group. It's just easier to look at them that way. And I use this and I go through and I look for stocks. If I'm looking for longs, I'll go in and I'll look for stocks that are just coming up on a long signal today. And I'll go through all 10 lists and I'll just flip the chart up and see if there's anything that grabs my attention. That's a nice little long right in there. Take a look at the systems right now. Then we're going to take a look at your symbols. So here are some of the different ones that you can pick from. We have ETF Trader. It trades TLT, which is the 30-year, 10-year bond, GLD, gold, SPY, S&P 500 depository receipt, and QQQ. So we'll look at TLT real quick. Gorgeous long right there. Gets short briefly. System gets us back in on that fantastic long right there. Gets short right at the top. Take profits there. Done really well on TLT. GLD, for anybody who likes to buy gold, if you held GLD for the last year as a diversification tool for your portfolio, you're down 5.6%. Oops. If you traded the system, you're up 27, almost 28%. We're on a buy signal right now. We may get stopped on this trade. We've recently introduced stops into the trading system. For a long time, I would just record videos and tell people when they should be in and out of positions and what to look for, but I decided to incorporate the stops and make it less work for subscribers. I also devised a new entry rule that's going to make our entry a lot more efficient. Instead of getting in on the opening bell, we're getting in 1 hour before the 1 hour after the open, So all entries and all exits happen 1 hour after the open. That means new positions that we enter, new exits, stops, re-enter, after stop, all of those. The only time you'll ever see anything is an hour after the open. So you kind of know when to look for the trades. So SPY, we lost probably about, I'm figuring 12 points in this 4-day period just because of our entry rule. Our old entry rule. We would be just annihilating buy and hold right now. But even if you can keep up with the SPY, just perform whatever it's doing when it's been up 15%. I'll tell you that the leverage that you have buying at the money calls that are trading for $3 or so, when you get a move like this is probably a 250 to 300% move. We're up about $10 on that SPY move. Beautiful move in here. Okay, again, a little position management down here, and you capture probably another 5 points on it, which in my market comments, I was telling everybody to get out and take profits on those puts. QQQ. Excellent margin of outperformance on QQQ. Look at that entry. Look at that. We were up on this probably about 250 to 300% on that trade right there. Pretty easy to get excited about this stuff. I know many of you are on ETF Trader. If you're considering a subscription, that's a really nice one. And it's an easy one because there are only 4 underlying. So if you don't have a lot of time, not to worry. This is sector ETFs. So if you like trading the different sectors, you can see we're on some really nice trades in here. XLY, we're long in there. XLK, beautiful long. Great long. A little choppy in here. We're still up 28% versus 10% for buy and hold. So sector ETF, most of these sectors have very good option liquidity. And you can trade options on it, but I find that most people that trade ETFs really like to trade the underlying shares. The only one I would stay away from is IBB. That one, the system does not perform well with. Has not figured that one out yet. Commodities. Done fine on commodities. I've got silver in here, natural gas, agricultural. So DBC, we're up about 15% versus minus 16% for buy and hold, and we're on a short right there, drifting lower. US index. Whoa. This is another really good one. Most liquid options in the world. IWM. We're up almost 20% versus 2% for buy and hold. And looky here. Likes that short. There's another trade for you folks that have attended tonight. Freebie. I don't like being short right now, so I would probably be short that, but I'd also be long some maybe Dow or something else. Dow has been really good for us. Dow, we're up 17% versus 11% for buy and hold. Really nice. So, going to international ETFs, like the emerging markets ETF. There's the short right there, and has that been a nice one? So not a lot of activity there, but definitely on the right side of the trade. RSX, that's Russia. That's been another nice one, up 45% versus minus 5% on a nice short in there. Now we get into some of the different stock symbol groups that I have. High tech focuses on high tech stocks, so we'll take a look at that. IBM, we're on a short right here. That might be a possible trade, but I want to see it below probably that 161 level. Then I start liking that a lot more. So I want to see that horizontal breakdown. Then I would short it, no problem. Texas Instruments, great long. Train left the station. I don't think you can get in now. I think you got to ride the trade and maybe it'll go short. G-Pro. Not done well with G-Pro. We caught this nice move in here. We caught this nice move in here, and then we started to get chopped up. Our stop system would have kept us out of this trade, would have kept us out of this trade, would have kept us out of this trade, and you had earnings there. So, but that's hindsight. We didn't have stops back then. We have them now. I think we're going to get right back on track with GoPro. The other issue that I had with GoPro is that I think I jumped the gun a little bit. It's an IPO, and I think the system needed a little more time to learn the stock. VMware, done well on that. Probably going to get stopped out of that position. That had a nasty little sell-off. Apple, fantastic entry right here. Apple implied volatilities have been dirt cheap, so the options are just, they're really inexpensive. This is what, 108 to 115, $16. That's an easy double on these options, probably a triple. And look at that signal. Before we even get the breakout, it's saying, yeah, get long. So as soon as you start seeing this on some of the scans and then you got that buy arrow, oh yeah, hello. That was high tech. Internet. It has some very fast movers like F5 Systems. Amazon. Nice long in there. Google, we're short. I'd mentioned to you that when you combine some of these symbols, so here we've got 3 longs and 3 shorts. Google, that's a beautiful short. We're up about 12 bucks on that. We're long Yahoo. That's been a nice long, but that stock's starting to roll over a little bit. We're short Facebook. That's looking pretty good in here. There's a horizontal breakdown for you right there. All right. Baidu's starting to roll over. We're going to get stopped out on that, I'm sure. So that's the internet. Really, really fast moving stocks there. Here's Netflix. We're still up $3 on that. Eek, that one, that's a nasty little sell-off. So a little position management would have gone a long way there. Las Vegas Sands, we're short. LinkedIn, we got stopped out of our long position right there. So now we're stopped, and I'm happy to be stopped because that is a nasty little breakdown right there. And this is probably going to fill in that gap. So I'm glad to be out of this one. But we've done well on LinkedIn. We're up 23% versus minus 2% for buy and hold. Twitter, we're short. Seeing a lot of shorts come in. 3D, we're long. That's a nice long. Yelp, we looked at that short earlier. That looks pretty dang good. Zillow, we're long. Love the volume in here. In fact, there's your horizontal breakout right here. Okay, so a little story here. I see the horizontal breakout and the buy signal that comes in, and this is on Monday. So I sent a video out to 3,000 subscribers and to subscribers of High IV. Those of you who are on either of those 2 subscriptions, I hope you watched it because I sent it out. It was about 5 or so minutes long, and I said, here, I'm going to go in and do a trade right now. So I sold the Zillow 114 puts, which were about $4 out of the money. And we'll just bring up a chart. We'll go back to Monday and take a look at it. So this was Monday's price action. The stock had run way up on the open, and I sent the video out probably right in this area here. I think it was midday or so, and I said, listen, I'm going to sell these 114 puts, and that's going to be right where the stock basically opened today, and I'm going to buy the 109 puts, which are down in this level, and I'm going to take advantage of time decay. Those options expire this Friday. I said, all we got to do is, we've got good momentum in the stock. We know it's breaking out and it wants to move higher. All I need is a couple of days where the stock moves sideways, and we'll be in great shape. I'll be able to close that position down, reel those options back in. Well, lo and behold, the next day, we get this run up early in the day, and I sold this put credit spread for $1.10 in the video. When it spiked up the next morning, I bought that back for 50 cents. I only did 5 contracts. I just wanted to do it as, for illustrative purposes. I made $300 on a 5-lot spread, in a matter of hours. It's just easy trade. I hope you guys did that trade too, because it was a really good one, and stuff like that helps offset the cost of your subscription. But it was there all day for us, and for anybody who had bought calls on it, they actually did fine today too, because they got this big, gigantic pop on the open. So Zillow's looking pretty good in here, and I love the volume spike. Okay, that's a nice sign. I'd keep an eye on that. FSLR, we're short. It's a nice little short in there. So far, so good. So those are the systems. I've shown you everything I've got. What I'd like to do is to have you type in some symbols. I'm going to take a look at your stocks, and while you're typing in your symbols, please, one or two symbols per person. We're already reaching the 1 hour point, and I'm going to show you something that you can take advantage of. I ran a special offer last week, and I reduced my subscription prices by 20% or so. This is probably the best deal that you'll see because I'm on the verge of raising my subscription prices. Why? Because the system's performed extremely well. So I wanted to release everything, keep the prices low for a while, get people used to the systems, get the performance records up. It's time to start moving the prices higher. So everything tonight, and quite honestly, I forgot to move my prices back up from the discounted price. I got really busy this week and I spaced it completely. So take advantage of this tonight. Take advantage of this before the open tomorrow, because I wrote myself a note already and I pasted it on my computer screen to get my prices back up where they're supposed to be. So this is usually a $3,000 subscription per year. Okay. The yearly includes every symbol in our 3,500 symbol database. It includes the scanner. It includes the platform, and you can try it on a quarterly basis. This is normally $1,000 per quarter. You can try it on a monthly basis. This is normally $400 per month. If you've got a fairly sizable portfolio, let's say $300,000 or more, you've got a handful of stocks that you like trading, you're going to make your money very quickly. On a percentage basis, this is less than 1%. And you can automate the trades through Interactive Brokers. If you're an active trader, it's absolutely a no-brainer. You come in and you're a day trader, I think in the first week or two, you should have no problem making your money back. I've just shown you some of the trades I could find in probably 10 minutes. There's no secret to it. Just go in and use some of my searches and then use the look for the system arrows fairly recently and look for those horizontal breakouts or breakdowns. Done. All the other systems I also reduced. This is normally $250. So Larry, I know you're on board tonight. Consider this. This is a really good deal. This is normally $250. I'm going to be raising these prices. So I hope to have you on board. And incidentally, let me go to one and show you something that's had all the track records. Everything's online. So, I'm an open book here. I don't have anything to hide. All my track records are online. You can see every single trade. If you don't want the platform and you come in, you'll see this would be what you'd see. So an exit today, we exited our long in LinkedIn. We took a loss on that. Okay, here are open positions. Here's our P&L for the month. If you want to go in, you can enter any of the symbols that are in that symbol group. So for instance, we'll put in, say, Netflix. Go in, type in Netflix, and you'll see all of our trade signals on this chart. You can also go in and request email and text alerts online. So if you really don't want the platform, you don't have to spend the $60 a quarter. You can get everything you want off the website and get your email alerts. You can also download a mobile app. Okay, and the mobile app will also give you all the trade information as well. So lots of ways to get that info. So let's take a look at what you guys are trading here and look at some of these symbols. OXY, Oxy Petroleum, currently on a buy signal, but probably ready to get stopped out in here. It's in a nasty downtrend. It's done well on the stock though. ABC, American Amerisource Bergen. I like that company long term. Beautiful buy right in there. Not quite keeping up with buy and hold on it. And the reason that we do underperform buy and hold, we don't trade earnings. We're out before earnings. This is earnings before the open. So you can see what the stock did. And we're out right there. So we missed, from 79 to 86. That's about it's about a 10% run right there. That's the difference. I don't want the risk. So I want to be out before earnings. GameStop, GME, currently stopped out of a short. Okay, so we're doing nothing on it. We won't get short unless it pulls back below this level here. Maybe we get a buy signal on it. If we do, it's got to get above that for me to be interested in it at 45. CP on a sell signal currently. Canadian Pacific doing pretty well. This might not, it looks like a pretty nice short, especially if it breaks down here. Nike. Gorgeous long right there, riding that one. Again, here you go. You come in, you put the scanner on. Ooh, there's a breakout. Oh, we just got a buy signal, and then you get that. Henry, what about small accounts? Small account, I'd suggest maybe going with US index. It only has 4 underlyings that you trade, and the options are very, very liquid, so you can leverage yourself. ETF Trader would be another good consideration. MON, Monsanto. Really nice entry right there. Continuing to push higher. And let's see here, we've got DD. Lisa, welcome aboard. Glad you found me. Yes, my daily market comments are included in the platform. So that's one way to get the information. And I'll show you that in a second. Let's take a look at your stocks. DD. So we're up about 27% versus 15%. So very nice. Entry point there, continuing to push higher. Here's a really nice one on DD. Look at that buy right in there. Nothing going on. System comes in with a buy, and I happen to pick up on that, and I saw it pushing and pushing higher all day, and I went, I'll buy a few contracts. And then the next day I came in and went, oh my God, because it doesn't usually make moves like that. So that was pretty fun. GILD. Doing okay on it, but not keeping pace with buy and hold. We've had a bit of a tough time with the biotechs because they do this up, down, up, down, up, down. It just a lot of randomness. I think I mentioned earlier, the ideal is to really see a stock that rolls up and rolls down nicely and not this chop, 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 chop. There's no pace to it. One day you love it, one day you hate it. So it's the issue with biotechs. They're very, very newsy and tend not to have that follow through that we really need. Apple we looked at, but we'll look at it again. Really nice entry there. We were quiet on Apple for a long time. It continued to move higher. We weren't on board, and that's why we're underperforming it. So it wasn't bad trades per se. It's just we weren't participating because we weren't getting the signals. But again, a little bit of leverage on Apple goes a long way. So anything that we missed based on this, you made up for right here if you bought those calls because they're up. That's a double or maybe even more. What's the difference between a blue and green arrow? That's a great question, Larry. So blue arrow is a stop, a green arrow is a buy, and if you ever see a green arrow next to a red arrow, it means we pivoted, like right here. We were long and we went right from a long to a short position, okay? So here we come in, we get another pivot, we went from a short to a long, and then we stop out before earnings. And so now that we have stops in place, you're actually going to start seeing a lot more blue arrows because we might be on a bullish signal, stop out, get back in, stop out, and then get back in, and then it goes. So it's just, we've got better risk management now. So Lisa, yes, let me get back to that question. Market view, you log into the platform, you come in every day, and you go to this market view tab right here. Before the open, you'll see my market comments. So if you liked them before, you're going to like them even more right now because they're posted before the open, so you'll know exactly what's going on. Plus, you'll have the entire platform to work with. And boy, I hope you sign up for one of the symbol groups because then you'll also be able to view those signals right in the platform as well. How do I feel about getting long a stock that has a green up arrow but a -8 on the fundamentals? Good question. I don't care too much. Honestly, I follow the symbol and I'm following the technicals a lot more because I'm such a short-term trader. The fundamental and technical readings that I have up here, the fundamentals quite honestly change right around the earnings releases because that's when we have new information on the fundamentals, and there's a lot that can happen between earnings announcements. You can have a stock like Zillow, for instance, that comes down, gets pummeled, and the fundamentals aren't so good, but all of a sudden you start seeing that base and these breakouts and these arrows above horizontal resistance. I'm going to get in on that all day long, and I'm not going to care too much about the fundamentals. So I look at them, but I'm such a short-term trader that my time horizon is a week, 2 weeks. I feel comfortable in that range. And if I get on a trade, I'm perfectly willing to ride it for 3 or 4 weeks. Great question though, Darren. Thank you. And I do have subscribers who don't use the system per se, but they come in and they have the scanner and the platform, and they like doing the earnings, the reaction, looking at the growth, the stock ER. They use all the other information within the platform to make their decisions. So in that particular case, if you see a breakout like this, but the fundamentals are lagging, you might not want to get long. You might be more interested in buying a breakout on a stock that's been running up but has really good fundamentals. The technical gauge ranges from 10 to -10. A positive 10 would be very constructive. So for instance, right now you're seeing very constructive price action on Zillow, even though it has pulled back. If you were in here, you'd be seeing very negative readings on it, like Yelp, -10. Well, it's not going this way, it's going that way. So Darren, you're asking, I'm going to just very quickly look for a couple more symbols, and then what I'm going to do is conclude the recorded part of this so that we can continue. I don't like the recordings to last forever. So let me just take a look. Baba, and I'll take Qualcomm. That's it, XOM. So let me look at those. BABA, BABA, done okay on BABA. We caught that nice move and we got out before earnings, so that was beautiful. We're not in a trade right now on BABA. I think the system's going to need more time to get its bearings for it, so be a little bit reluctant to trade it. Just once bitten, twice shy. Um, Qualcomm, short signal in here, so staying with the short position, but it's hanging on by its teeth, quite honestly. I think this is probably going to get stopped out if the stock doesn't roll over here. Let's see here. XOM, and I think that's the last one. XOM, we're on a little bit of a buy and we stopped out, so we might be getting back in on a buy here. We'll see. Right now the system is neutral on it. It's not in a position. So for those of you who are in attendance, please hang on because I'm going to conclude the recorded portion of tonight's presentation. For those of you who are watching a recording, I urge you, please go back, take a look at the symbols that we highlighted, take a look at the stocks that we've highlighted. You'll have the benefit of hindsight, see how they've performed since November 19th. I think you're going to like what you see. Then I hope to have you on board as a subscriber. Thank you for attending. Good night.